think you can hear the bell. Not anymore. There was a bell just now. I love it. Okay, I also have to launch the TikTok one as well. All right. And now it has to be fine, hopefully working. Okay. All right. Hello, everybody. Hello. Good time of the day. How are we doing today? Let me know. Hi, guys. Hello, hello. What's up, everybody? How's it going? I'm trying a new lemonade today. I'm very excited about it. Hello, TikTok, to you guys as well. This is what the lemonade of the day looks like. And this is it right here. So apparently it's lemon and strawberry. It's really good, but it's pretty addictive. So I don't know what I'm gonna do without it. I already had like 3 bottles. Hi, Josh. Hello, hello. Yes, I am very much. I love it here. I wish I could stay here forever. Obviously, it's impossible. Have to go back to the swamp eventually. Oh, but it's wonderful here. It's so wonderful. Honestly, I mean, obviously this is me being delusional perhaps, but I was always hoping growing up in Crimea, which is also a southern region by the sea, right? I was always hoping that this is what it could be like, ideally, once we fix everything and we do the reforms, right? And we have this proper life for ourselves. I was like, maybe this is... so this was my idea, basically, of what Crimea could be like in the perfect world. That didn't happen, but hey, at least I get to visit nice places now. So growing up, I couldn't even imagine something like this. Oh, thank you, Josh. Oh, this is nice. Thank you so much for the flowers. So yeah, things change. Right, you get some, you lose some, I guess. And happy Friday to you too. Happy Friday to you guys. Happy Friday to all of you. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And I hope you have a lot of exciting plans for the weekend, hopefully. Howdy to you too. I bought 2 different kinds of lovaretis. Oh, thank you for supporting Ukrainian manufacturer. Thank you. Yeah, they're good. I used to get them a lot. Recently, I don't know, something has happened to my tea streak. I haven't been that big on tea. Something's off. But no, I think it was a pretty good option because we were facing a fundamental issue when we started finally looking into, perhaps not buying as much of Russian stuff as we used to. We have realized that most of the tea on Ukrainian market was Russian tea, right? So most of the tea, the most popular ones, they were all obviously not grown in Russia, understandably. They do not grow tea leaves, but they were all of the companies were Russian. And so when faced with this need, to look for a Ukrainian alternative, Lovare was, I think it was the main alternative. So I hope you like them. I hope you like them. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Today's going to be a slow day, I think. Thankfully, honestly. Thank you. Because I was worried. I was worried that something might start. And something might start today with these military drills that are beginning today. So I was worried that something might immediately, I don't know, explode or something. But no, so far so good. So far so good. TJ's back. Oh, vanilla chai. Well, that's wonderful. That's something that I should try, honestly. Honestly. We'll see. But these days, it's the lemonade for me. I already shown some people, but one more lemonade introduction. To those of you who were wondering what I'm drinking today, that's the drink of choice. It's really good. And it's not too sweet, which is important because I don't want it to be too sugary. So, yes, Russian tea. Can you believe it? Have you ever tried Russian tea? They all have these very like Indian sounding names. Princess Nuri, Princess Yava, like stuff like this, but they're all Russian companies, and they used to be like dominating the market, not only in Ukraine, I think in some other post-Soviet countries as well. But yeah, I know. Also not surprising. If you really, if you think about it, if you remember how much money the Soviet Union invested back in the day, in India, for instance, these connections start to make way more sense. And the fact that they remained. And hello everybody. Good to see you all. Happy Friday, everyone. I hope you're doing well. Thankfully, nothing has started yet. Nothing bad, at least. Well, I mean, as bad as it could have been regarding the drills, although they have already begun, right? So in Belarus, the joint Russian-Belarusian drills have already begun. Everyone is really nervous. Everyone's on edge. Everyone is deploying the troops into the area, understandably. So I think Lithuania is patrolling its border. Poland is fortifying its border. We're also fortifying our border for years. But yeah, this is probably the main topic of the day. Thank you. Did you see the pipeline news from Russia, China, North Korea? All of the pipeline news, they tried to sensationalize them, but it sounded like old stuff to me, honestly. And this was a lot of the public stuff that came out of Tianjin. It was all an attempt at sensationalizing stuff that we've already known, especially in terms of like economic ties between Russia and China. I'm not entirely sure why. If it's the strategy, if they're just trying to create a facade of sorts. So yeah, but we haven't really heard anything new, at least for now. Maybe it will change. Who knows? With these people, you never know. We'll have to observe. I'm okay, thank you. Thank you for asking. No way Soviets drink Chinese. No, not really. If you remember, right, how complicated the Soviet-Chinese relationship has been. Yeah, thank you. All of a sudden, it starts making way more sense that the Indian tea would be much more popular. Because that was I don't know, for some reason, recently everybody seems to have forgotten how complicated the relationship used to be between the Soviet Union and China, that it even gotten to a point of military aggression once. So there's a lot of tension, especially if you take into account all of these territorial claims. Back then it was also about who is the right kind of communist. Because Mao was pissed at Khrushchev. They're like, and with the thing that they did debunking Stalin, right? The cult of personality. Mao was not happy about that, let me tell you. I'm telling it like I'm clocking the tea, like it's the beauty guru drama. But no, Mao was, he was not happy with that. With them taking a U-turn on Stalin's cult of personality, again, understandably. So yeah, after that he announced that these people are no longer real communists and that his communism is the only communism that will communist. And yeah, there were so many things were happening. All the drama, the girls were fighting. Hi guys, welcome everybody. Canada has adapted the same attitude with goods made in the USA, trying to separate ourselves from the US. I guess it makes sense. At least, from the point, at the very least, from the point of supporting local manufacturer. All of a sudden, when you start making more conscious choices, you realize, hey, wait, I could have been buying local, right? I could have been buying local businesses and their products and their stuff. And yeah, but also remembering the rhetoric that we have been seeing, especially in the first months, I think, of the presidency. Yeah, I understand where you guys are coming from. Cottage cheese. That's incredible. Of course, it's not the best cottage cheese, I know. The best cottage cheese is only in Ukraine. as all the Ukrainians abroad will tell you. Who has the best cottage cheese? Ukraine has the best cottage cheese. No one else does. No one else does. Hi, guys. Hi, guys. How are you doing? Everything is good here, so don't worry about me. I'm still away. You can guess that based on the wall. The wall is the same for now. But yeah, we're still keeping an eye out on the situation. We're still looking. We're still trying to see whether or not things will change, because these drills is something that is on everyone's mind. Thank you. What do I think about Putin in America? Wait, is he back? No. No, I mean, today we're actually gonna look at this clip. If you guys are not on YouTube, you can jump on YouTube if you want to see stuff that I will be showing. It's linked in the bio. But the Polish Minister of Foreign Affairs, Sikorski, said it best, that everybody was expecting more sanctions, and instead they got Alaska meeting with the red carpet being rolled for Putin. So yeah, I think we can all agree that it was extremely disappointing. If you mean that one. No, I'm currently away. Will be for some time, so hence the nice wool. I mean, my wool at home is nicer. Let's be fair. But this one is also pretty. Are your brothers okay? I don't have any brothers, dear. I'm an only child in my family, so which is a very common occurrence for the kids who were born in our lands in the 90s, because no one had the money to have more kids. Hello, Dana. Thank you so much. Now that I think of it, yeah, that was most people in my class. I think we only had a couple people like younger siblings, older siblings. Most of us were like single. Only children in our families, because let me tell you, everyone was broke in the 90s. Thank you. Everyone was really broke. The fact that people like me were born, it's a miracle. It's a miracle, everyone. So yeah, no brothers for me. No sisters either, just in case. So today we have the infamous drills that we have already talked about, beginning in Belarus. They're gonna last for 4 days, and everyone, as I've already told you, has been majorly freaking out about this. Well, getting ready. But yeah, the strategic drills called Zapad 2025, the West 2025. Subtle, I know, very subtle name. No one would ever understand what they're possibly, thank you, Cinderella, what they could be possibly hinting at, these people. We'll never know. So the main goal that was announced is to counter the possible aggression and also to increase cooperation, which, by the way, in the last 3 years, it has increased dramatically. So not only was there all of this military infrastructure rebuilt in Belarus, and also the now infamous transfer of the nuclear weapons to Belarus that has also occurred in the last 3 years. Also, the number of the Belarusian fighters in the Russian army has increased significantly. So yeah, things have been moving. We do not really like this development, but also I guess this is something that was inevitable. So these trainings, they will be conducted in Belarus and also in Russia. And of course, it's the Belarus part that concerns most of the people. So in particular, Poland, that has already closed the border ahead of the aggressive joint Russian-Belarusian military exercises. This is a little snippet of the border. Looking good, looking nice.
From Latvia to Poland, NATO is reinforcing its frontier borders with the eastern regimes.
On Friday, joint Russian-Belarusian military exercises will begin in Belarus, very close to the Polish border.
Warsaw says that the drills are highly aggressive as it sees a growing number of various provocations from Russia and Belarus.
For the sake of national security, we will close the borders with Belarus, including railway crossings, due to the Zapad exercises at 12 a.m. on Friday.
The joint drills
Putin
due to
with his
begin on September
binoculars.
12 were teased as the biggest
An
yet,
idiot.
with guesstimates assuming 200,000 would need to participate to qualify the Kremlin's appraisal. However, recent assessments by the Baltics intelligence community place the troop estimates closer to 30,000.
Russia has lost or tied most of its troops in actual fighting in Ukraine, which also means that it, unfortunately for them, fortunately for the rest of us, doesn't have as much technology, as much equipment to show off as they would probably
I love the
like
analysts
to.
so much. I love the experts. I love all of this. So yeah, this is one of the very commonly shared points of view, right? That all of the Russian troops, a lot of the people have been killed. By the way, they're still doing covert mobilization, so... Oh, hi Zoe, hello. Good to see you. The Russians are still doing the covert mobilization, just FYI. And also, in terms of people, a couple days ago, there were the first announcement of the first North Koreans arriving to help them. So obviously they're not allowed, the Russians are not allowed to brag about stuff like this. It's supposed to be like pretty, secret, kind of, more or less sort of secrecy, I guess. But they still have to brag. They still have to let everybody know that something is happening. So it was spread on the Russian propaganda Telegram channels with them being like, the allies have arrived. And obviously, they didn't specify which allies, but it's understood that it's the North Koreans who have been expected around this time. There were people claiming that they might arrive in August. Thank you. Thank you guys for putting the hearts in, appreciate it. So some of them were claiming that, some of the experts, some of the people observing the situation were claiming that they might arrive in August, but this particular time, by the beginning of the drills, was a very common version. And yeah, by the looks of it, this is what's happening. So how many North Koreans? This is currently the biggest question that is on everyone's mind. Last time we have seen 15,000 of them helping the Russians stabilize the front in Kursk Oblast. So this particular time around, apparently there should be more, based on everything. So there has to be more. We do not know, again, how many more. So could it be 20,000? Could it be 30,000? Could it be less? Who knows? But anyway, now that we're on the topic of, Russians don't really have any more people. Yeah, there is an interesting addition to the fold. So just something to keep in mind. And obviously this is of course not the only presence of the foreign troops in Russia. They have also been recruiting from pretty much everywhere they could. They've been hiring mercenaries, and also remember, right, the covert mobilization that we have just discussed. And also there is always possibility in the worst case scenario that perhaps China will step up. And if there is anything China has a a lot of people. But anyway, back to the analyst person.
NATO's eastern flank has not left these exercises unaddressed, with Poland and NATO allies gathering for the Iron Defender. Over 30,000 of Polish troops alone are set to carry out these multi-domain drills.
If I'm not mistaken, it's actually the biggest military exercise that the Polish army has put together in a long time in connection with the allies. And the fact that the exercises are happening have been notified duly, as is standard, to the other side. And that's exactly because they want to avoid any sort of misunderstanding that could lead to an unnecessary declaration.
Importantly, though these exercises may be a show of force, they are taking place at the brink of the NATO alliance's so-called strategic choke point, the Suwałki corridor. The thin stretch of land linking Lithuania and Poland lays between Moscow-allied Belarus and the Russian exclave of
Kaliningrad. This is the Suwałki Gap, or the Suwałki corridor, everybody. The one that we have been discussing, I think, already several times. This is one of the most vulnerable areas in this particular part of the European Union and on the eastern NATO flank. And this is something that a lot of people believe could be the potential place for the breakthrough, right, in case of the invasion, in order to create corridor between Kaliningrad and Belarus. And Putin's big on his corridors. We have already discussed how one of the plans for the invasion of Ukraine was to create this corridor in the south of Ukraine and to connect Transnistria, which is their proxy state, with Russia through the Ukrainian territory. This is another corridor because, yeah, he does love him a corridor or two. So this is one of the areas that is believed to be particularly vulnerable, just something to keep in mind. something to keep an eye out for. Trump's response to the Russian drones in Poland has been very discouraging, unless you're a Putin lover. Yeah, he already gave us several responses. We're going to look at them in a sec. They all have been extremely disappointing. The first one was, some of you might remember from our last live stream, it was him saying, "Here we go." So, there were more. There were more responses. There were more responses as well. Hello, Jonathan. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Take Kaliningrad first and then the gap, Israel. Well, who's gonna take it, John? Right? No one's really up for grabs. Hello, Maddie. Good to see you. Good to see you. Right. No one's really willing to do anything about the situation first, right? So, all right. Let us look at the infamous Trump response to the drones. So the timing, right? The timing, again, is really interesting here because we're looking at the situation unraveling with these drills that have been long time coming, right? It's not something that just happened overnight. The drills have been planned for a while, but now it's happening to the backdrop of the almost 20 drones that were shot. Some of them were shut down. Some of them apparently just dropped. Some of them just, I don't know, disappeared. Some of them just fell down in Poland. And so, of course, we were all looking at these different reactions from different politicians, from different organizations. NATO response is really interesting. We're going to look at it in a second. But, of course, Trump gave us... the most interesting thing that Trump gave us is this meeting with Lukashenko, right? So the Americans met up with Lukashenko, gave him a letter from Trump with the famous signature. Okay, anyway... and among other things, the letter included birthday wishes for Lukashenko. Aw, how sweet, from Trump. And congratulations related to tennis player Arina Sabalenka and her triumph at the US Open. The US president also added that he prays for the health of Lukashenko and his family. Aw, okay. As well as for the well-being of the American and Belarusian nations. And here's the letter. Sincerely, Donald, it says in marker. So what was happening aside from the letter? Did they just meet up to get a letter from Trump to Lukashenko? No. There was also, this is what I think looks like an attempt to kind of sway Belarus from the dark path, which is ridiculous, honestly, at the stage where we're at right now. But anyway, I guess better late than never. So they met, they discussed things. This is not the first time a meeting like this has been happening. We have discussed the visit from Keith Kellogg to Lukashenko back in June, I believe. So, hi, Bram. Thank you. So, yeah, not the first time. Not the first time we're seeing this. But this particular time around, we have seen sanctions lifted off of Belavia. What is Belavia? Belavia is the main Belarusian state aviation company, which raises some concerns. Thank you, guys. Thank you. It raises some concerns because immediately the question arises, will this lifting of the sanctions be used by the Russians in any way, shape, or form? So will, for instance, Belavia be capable of purchasing parts for the planes and then give them to Russians? Because remember, right, the sanctions hit particularly severely the Russian aviation, civilian aviation sector. So could this be a loophole, a new loophole for them that will make it easier for them to get the parts? Who knows? I guess we will find out. And as an exchange of these courtesies, Lukashenko released more than 50 political prisoners. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. But also, again, if it wasn't for the timing, it would have been better. Because again, just 2 days ago, we have had several drones flying into Poland from the territory of Belarus. But yeah, okay. Obviously, this is the type of meeting that has been planned long in advance. So they were like, okay, we're just going to go through with it. Okay, so this is one of the reactions from Trump. Oh my God, thank you with the PayPal. Jason, is that you? Jason, thank you. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you for the support. So, the Trump reaction to the drone incursion. This is part 2. The first one, remember, was the here we go. He said, this is the second one. This is a snippet. Let's look at that.
What's your reaction to Russian drone incursion into Poland?
Could have been a mistake. Could have been a mistake, but regardless, I'm not happy about anything having to do with that whole situation. But hopefully it's going to come to an end.
It could have been a mistake, you guys. 20 drones, could have been a mistake. Just an oopsie, whoopsie doopsie. You know how it goes. You know, it just stuff happens. One day it's one drone, also by mistake. The other day it's 20 drones. Whatever. Okay, so that was the second reaction after Here We Go. And then there was also another one. Wait, where is that? I have too much stuff. Then he also, this is one more. Him talking to a bunch of, you already know it, Fox News people. Because of course, what else did he have to say?
We just saw these drones in Poland.
Yeah, well,
more sanctions.
I mean, I'm not going to defend anybody, but the Poland, they were actually knocked down and they fell into an area. But he shouldn't be close to Poland anyway. Right. So I solved, as you know, 7 wars. 7.
About President Putin, because we just saw these drones.
Even the Fox News lady is sanctions? Maybe more sanctions? What's the response going to be? More sanctions, perhaps, Mr. Trump? No. The response is that he has settled 7 wars. So, and also that this shouldn't be happening. And and also sometime later, he once again stated that he settled the conflict between Azerbaijan and Albania. This was the second time he confused Albania with Armenia. So yeah, this is the 3 responses that we have gotten so far for the 20 drones flying into the NATO country airspace, which is, I think this is our traditional rubric of disappointed but not surprised, right? Did we really expect anything else from him? I don't think so, honestly, right? I don't think anyone else was expecting anything else. But of course, yes, the timing, awful. The NATO response, however, was more interesting. So they have launched, I was just watching this press conference of Rutte. It was a couple hours before the stream, by the way, with horrible sound. I don't know if you guys have been watching that. If you have been, Sue's like, what the heck? Yeah, so this has been our reaction to him commenting on the escalation of the war in Europe for a while. But yeah, we're kind of used to it, unfortunately. So a couple of hours ago, Rutte was giving this press conference. Horrible audio. Everyone was really confused. What happened? Who are the sound people for the NATO? I don't know. But yeah, answering questions. Basically, they're still doing assessment. That was one of the main takeaways that I had from the entire thing. They were talking about still making assessments. They were talking about still analyzing the situation. But one of the things that they have announced is that NATO will be launching a new operation to bolster eastern flank after drone incursions into Poland, which is okay, good. Better late than never, as I like to say. An eastern sentry operation to bolster the defense of the alliance's eastern flank. Right, obviously they didn't give a lot of details, but I mean, I think we can expect more air defense systems, right? So Rutte told a news conference that the operation would involve a range of assets from allies including Denmark, France, United Kingdom, Germany, thank you, and other nations. Unspecified. But yeah, obviously they're not going to give the exact details, and he even specified that. He said that he is not going to be. Thank you, Maddie. Thank you. He specified that they will not be giving any extra details, and in the past we have already discussed how it's a good thing, actually, that you shouldn't be giving every single little detail of your military operations to the public for understandable reasons. Anyway, but yeah, I imagine air defenses. Probably air defenses, maybe deployment, right? Oh, thank you, Josh. Thank you for the paper crane. And also another interesting update came actually from Poland itself. They have announced that they will be sending military to Ukraine to learn how to shoot down the drones, everybody. How the tables have turned. So yes, we're gonna see the, finally, for some reason only now, but we will be seeing the joint operations okay, I guess I don't even know how to better put it. I'm still trying to process this, because just a couple months ago we were discussing our troops going to the Western countries for training. Yeah, we have finally entered the stage where it's gonna be the other way around. Because if there is anyone who knows how to shoot down a bunch of stupid drones, let me tell you. It's us, everybody. So yeah, they will be the Polish, thank you, soldiers will be coming to Ukraine to study how to shoot down the drones, which is wonderful. It's great that we can exchange this experience. Oh, thank you, Zoe. Is this a soup? It looks like a miso soup. Thank you. Robert says, I haven't heard any Ukrainian news in the US. It makes sense, I think, right? We haven't been a trending topic for a while. So, but we talk about Ukraine a lot on here, so you can join us. Thank you, Maddie. Thank you guys for the support. I really appreciate it. And for the tapping and the liking and everything that boosts the life. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Thank you. So, yeah, let me try and catch up with the chat, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Is this Chewy? Oh, I miss Chewy. This is one of the worst parts about being away. I miss those silly dogs of mine so much. Even Chewy. Right, I know. Finally something. Some reaction we have seen. Just a moment. Let me see what's happening. What is going on? Oh, is this a panda? Thank you, Josh. It's a super panda. Thank you so much. Wait, what is happening? Let me see. Just a moment. Nuclear what? Oh, thank you, Ken. So the only thing that I see about anything nuclear, at least for now, I am seeing the news. So there was a drone shot down apparently above the occupied Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. And in Kharkiv, there's been explosions all day long in Kharkiv, right, as always. And 10 minutes ago there was a missile apparently in Kharkiv, but that's all that I see. Everything that the Russian... Okay, so the news about the nuclear power plant, the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, are coming from the Russian sources. So it's TASS, for instance, right? So the Russian state news agency, and I'm not really seeing anything from our side about that. But no, for now it seems quiet. We'll see. We'll be keeping an eye out on the situation. I mean, quiet, relatively quiet. It's still explosions in Kharkiv and all over the place. Sumy has been under fire today, as always. So in the frontline regions, unfortunately, the situation is the same. So it's the same, you guys. Hello. Dobry wieczór, Polska. I didn't see any confirmation. So... Oh, we have some of the best. I honestly think probably the best guys when it comes to shooting down the drones. And yeah, and they can do it with anything. The type of equipment that they use sometimes is surprising even to them. Yeah, and some of the stuff is, if you haven't seen it on video, you wouldn't even believe it, that it was possible. And it's especially impressive with missiles. Well, drones too, obviously, but with missiles. So, yeah. Anyway, so we will now be having these joint operations with Poland, which makes a lot of sense. which is good. I think it's a good measure to protect the Polish sky, ideally. Because so last time we discussed, right, how this is a very expensive thing, shooting down drones with the Patriots and with the F-35s and the rest of them, which is what the NATO forces did this time. I said it to you guys last stream. Zelensky immediately confirmed it. Well, I guess sometimes we agree on some things. Where is he? This is him.
Не допоможуть. І нікому не допоможуть. Це суто зброя проти балістичних ракет, передусім. 50-60 ракет сьогодні виробляє Сполучені Штати Америки.
Okay, sorry, we're not going to do that. So basically, he is reiterating the same point, right? Here he's saying that Patriots will not help against Shaheds, right? And he's stressing that they're designed, the Shahed drones, the Patriot air defense systems are designed primarily for ballistic missiles, which is true. And he also noted that the US produces about 50 to 60 Patriot missiles a month, while Russia launches 500 to 800 Shaheds daily, right? And this is now before they have launched their manufacturing at the full scale, right? Remember, they're planning to do it, to increase it like tenfold. The manufacturing of the Shahed drones, and I'm afraid some of these are not only for us, they're also for other countries as well. So with each interceptor costing millions versus a drone at about $100K, he argued cheaper systems of alternative methods must be used instead. And this comes in handy with what we just discussed about the Polish troops going to Ukraine to study the cheaper way, I guess. Honestly, the only thing that I could think of, like the cheapest way that is for now available to all of us and could be implemented, it's hitting them with other drones. So using drones to shoot down the drones. Drones. I know, a lot of drones. But this is the one that makes most sense, at least for now. You will still need more. You need at least twice, I think, the amount of drones that are flying at you to try and implement that, but it's, you know, it's one of the possible solutions, I guess. But yes, we will be seeing that too. Good evening. Good evening. Dart is asking, other kinds of drones used in addition to the Shahed. So the trickiest part with Shaheds is that they're also using its decoy counterpart. So it's very similar to Shahed, but it carries no explosive part, and it's meant to basically confuse the air defense system. And they're using them alongside these. But yes, they also have a lot of different types. At the frontline areas, they're using the Orlan type drones they have a different purpose. They also have they have several modifications of Shahed, and they also had, I'm trying to think of the longer range ones. Cannot remember the names, but yes, there are several modifications. Just the Shahed ones are the ones that have proven to be most effective, and they're also the ones that are flying on the longest distance, and this is why we're hearing a lot about them. And they also have their decoy little twin, the Gerbera, as the Russians like to call them. They name them after flowers. They don't call them Shahed. They call them Gerань. What is Gerань in English? I don't know. Wait. What? Well, okay, geranium, pelargonium who? Anyway, so yeah, they call them, this is what they call Shahed, they call them geranium, and they also call the other one Gerbera, which is, if it's Gerbera, I'm gonna start shooting. Yes, it's Gerbera. Not very good with plant names, everybody. Not my strongest side, unfortunately. Do you think the Russian drones over Poland will have consequences? No, I don't think they will have any consequences, at least for now. Mainly because there is this sort of confusion currently that we're observing, right? The expectation would, of course, be, I guess, the strengthening of the sanctions, maybe, right? Maybe a diplomatic response. So the strengthening of the sanctions is not coming in the in the upcoming weeks, maybe even months, I think. They couldn't agree. They barely agreed on the last package of the sanctions. I don't think they will agree on the second one, on the next one. The diplomatic response, Sikorsky already said that there is no point in breaking the diplomatic relations with Russia, because you have to continue diplomatic relationship even with your enemies and adversaries, which is okay, you know, it's your diplomatic relationships with them. So Trump is clearly not planning on introducing any sanctions. He's just teasing. Last time he teased more sanctions after we had the what was that? The massive strike on Kiev, right? And he was like, oh, sanctions, and then everybody immediately forgot about that. So I think the best that we're going to see is the strengthening of the eastern flank, right? So they're going to send more air defense systems into Poland. They're going to send more planes in particular. They have also introduced the no-fly zone in, I think it was about 20-kilometer area along the Polish border, which again, is it really, it's a reaction, right? But it's not really a strengthening of measures in any way, shape or form, not really consequences for Russia per se, right? But yeah, this is what it's going to look like, approximately, the no-fly zone for civilian aircrafts in Poland. So yeah, they're definitely going to be, something is happening, but it's not the type of reaction, of course, that we perhaps would like to see. Because I guess just up until very recently, we would all think, wow, 20 drones flying into a NATO country's territory, there have to be some consequences for, right? You couldn't find Chewy. No, there has to be Chewy in the stickers, and there was some Mysh. It's one of the oldest ones, so maybe you have to scroll a little bit. But it has to be there. It has to be there. What did Charlie Kirk say about Ukraine? Nothing good. Nothing good. A bunch of very hateful things, obviously. I mean, are you surprised? He spread the biolabs conspiracy. He also said that he justified the occupation of the Russian, because the territory that Russia occupies are Russian speaking, and because we're Russian speakers, we deserve it. So yeah, stuff like this, defunding Ukraine, a bunch of stuff about Zelensky, but that's not as bad as, you know, the stuff about the people in the occupied territories. So you already know. Zoe's quoting, I'm not going to defend anybody, but they were actually knocked down and they fell. Yeah, that's just the mind, his mind, the brilliance of his mind. If Putin was to go nuclear, he'd send them from Belarus and blame Lukashenko. Yes, actually, yeah, I think it's one of the possibilities for why they ended up putting the nuclear weapons in Belarus in the first place, which they did, right? Some of you might remember. It has been the case since 23, right? It was since 2023, and it was this whole thing, right? All of the top Russian propagandists came to Belarus to announce that the transfer of the nuclear warheads to Belarus, right? On June 16th, 2023, the Russian side officially confirmed the beginning of the transfer of nuclear warheads to Belarus. Lukashenko said that the weapons are already in the country, although the exact number and location of warheads remain secret. Obviously, it would be weird if he points it to the exact location of the nuclear warheads. And back then we were also like, wow, this is such a massive escalation on Russia's behalf. I wonder what's the response is going to be from the NATO. And there was no response because, of course. But yeah, they also have those, and they have the launchers. They have the Iskander launchers, and Iskander is capable of carrying the some types of nuclear, whatever. Sorry, not a big expert on the nukes. I think I will have to become one in the near future, I'm afraid, looking at where things are headed. But for now, yeah, plans and nukes, not my strongest side. So he continued quoting Trump, but you should not be, oh, thank you, Lake Lily, you should not be close to Poland anyway. Exactly, right? If we have any Polish people in the chat, you guys, you heard what he said. You shouldn't be close to Poland anyway. Please leave. Go to the Czech Republic. That very instance. I cannot with this guy. And he just keeps saying things. He just does this. Oh, right, you guys, you were right. Geranium. Geranium, exactly. Sorry, I decided to Google instead of asking you because I'm a bad streamer. The Shahed decoy drone was the sort that were fitted with extra fuel and steered to Poland, according to the reports here. Yeah, that's one of the versions, right? That's one of the versions. I read it in Our Media, I think, first. They were the ones who suggested this, which could easily be the case. So we will have to wait because NATO is currently conducting the expertise, right? They're conducting the expertise. There's going to be the analysis. There's going to be a lot of paperwork. And then after that, they probably won't tell us anything because... but yeah, it could be that easily. Disgusting to name them after flowers. Yeah, it's their little humor. It's their little sense of humor. This is what they do. But also there is a history of that as well. So if you go a little back, like for instance in the World War II, some of the most like efficient systems, they also had these like pet names. The most famous one, it was the first heavy artillery system, I think, that the Red Army had. It's called Katyusha, like very famously. It's like a very sweet way to say Catherine, which is Katya in Russian. And yeah, Katyusha was this nickname for these guns, basically. So I'm away for now. Yeah, so don't freak out about the wall, you guys. Do not freak out. So to those of you who are on YouTube, which by the way, we are also on YouTube, just a reminder to those of you who do not remember, you are now looking at the one more look at the freshly established Polish no-fly zone at the border with Ukraine and Belarus, right, which is supposed to be another preventative measure to make sure that the drones hopefully won't fly into Poland again. I don't know. But yeah, basically the civilian aircrafts are no longer allowed to fly in this area. So yeah, did I miss? Trump turned NATO into not actually treaty. Oops. Unfortunately. And what we're currently seeing, based on the response to everything that's been happening in the upcoming days, I think we will be able to determine the future of this alliance that you guys have going, which is a good alliance, and it would be sad if it didn't live up to the expectations, because it has this tremendous potential. But yeah, we will see. Currently, they're trying their best, I think, by the looks of it, to showcase unity at the very least and show that there is going to be a response. Good. Let them work. This is what they're here for, to protect you guys, those of you who are from NATO countries. So thank you for subbing on YouTube. Thank you. Appreciate it. Aha, you found the Chewy sticker. Okay, so we have 3 Chewies, and we have Mish and another Mish, and also 2 random dogs that I liked very much. I need to add all of my dogs. I only have Chewy and Mish out of all my dogs, and I have 5 dogs, and that's unfair. China flew its weather balloons across all of USA. Yeah, sure, because why not, right? It's why not do that? Just hanging out. Nothing, no biggie. It was probably a mistake, you guys. It was probably a mistake. There was probably some sort of confusion, you know. Weren't the field guns named after flowers? The Katyusha was a rocket artillery. Yep. That sounded a tiny bit like the chorus rhythm to the Katyusha popular song, supposedly. Yeah, it's true, 100%. Still a very popular song. I do not remember. For some reason, I struggled to come up with an example of more names like this. I don't know. But there definitely were more. Sorry, cannot remember from the top of my head. But yeah, this was something that they used to do quite a lot, and still do, as you can see. Okay, one more thing that I wanted to discuss regarding the yes, and the reinforcing of the border, right? So Poland apparently sends 40,000 troops to border before the drill, which is a lot of people, and apparently way more people than are supposed to participate in the drill in Belarus. So that's good. That's a good preventative measure. Sorry. Makes a lot of sense. We have also been reinforcing our border as well, as I've told you guys, and we've already had some fiascos, unfortunately, that had to do with that. So yesterday, I'm getting these news of a missile dropping in Volyn, which is my region, and I'm like, excuse me, what is going on? And then I started learning the deets of the situation, and it was so bad. I'm gonna tell you in a sec. I am gonna tell you in a second. Thank you. The war has strong Mediterranean vibes. It does, right? To me, it also has Crimean vibes, because I'm biased. Everything has Crimean vibes to me. But it does. I like this wall very much. I like the texture. I could do ASMR videos for that. Everyone in Poland move. How dare they? How dare they stay in Poland, the Polish people? Haven't they heard what Trump just said? Hello, hello, hello. All right. Okay, I think let me just, before I forget, because I can get carried away and then I will forget about what is happening. Let me see. Wait, Putin came where? Putin has arrived somewhere, you guys. There is a cultural evening. They're celebrating culture in St. Petersburg and Putin is in attendance, everybody. Look at all the gold. Where is that? Is this Hermitage? I cannot see. Look at these inspired faces. They're celebrating culture, you guys. Very cultured people. Okay, so what I wanted to show you before I forget. So this is what happened. Jesus, that was very loud. Apologies. That's Ukrainian news. As you can see, this is a residential building burning in Volyn region. It's like quite close actually to where we live. And that was very confusing because there was no air raid alert, there was no siren, no nothing, right? It just sort of happened. So we were like, what is going on? Why is the building burned? Thankfully, no casualties. The owner was away, but he apparently lost everything. He lost his entire livelihood because he was working from home. He had his business, wood cutting or something. Anyway, everything burned down. And what we learned was that apparently it was an accident. So I just told you that we're reinforcing our border. We have all of these military equipment arriving on site. We have all of these planes flying above. And apparently a missile dropped out of the plane onto a residential area, that's the first one. It has never happened before in all of the years of war that we've been having. And of course, the first time it has ever happened, it had to happen in our region because sure, we're just lucky like this, I guess. And it was just, I couldn't even believe it. So they're now investigating it. I really hope that they will investigate it and, discover what happened and hopefully prevent it from happening ever again. Because what do you mean? What do you mean a fighter jet just randomly dropped a thing that exploded? That's not fun, everybody. It's enough that we have all of these dozens of drones flying through us into Poland. Sorry, it's not funny. And now we also have that. No, I don't like it. I don't like it very much. And also on top of that, we also had a very loud night. We had a very loud night because the Russian oil depots continue to explode randomly, which is, what do you know? What's happening? We're going to discuss that in a second as well. Too much gold, Trump will be jealous. Oh, they do love their gold in Russia. They do. He used to be the mayor in St. Petersburg. No, he wasn't. He was the assistant something to the mayor, to Anatoly Sobchak. There was this very famous picture of him carrying his suitcase next, wait, let me show you. Anatoly Sobchak. Oh, hello, Mu. Good to see you. Putin. Anyway, Putin is carrying a briefcase of Sobchak back in the 90s. Where was that? Did they hit it? because it's like a very famous one with Putin. First of all, check out the fit on Putin. This is him next to Sobchak, and yeah, looking slightly awkward. This is his early days. Okay, I think I just found it. Yep, that's him. That's Putin carrying Sobchak's briefcase. He was getting started over there. I mean, he was getting started in the KGB, but yeah, also there as well, in St. Petersburg, Leningrad, as it used to be called. So yeah, that's just to answer your question. And I'm just gonna leave the image of the burning oil depot for a moment before I see what TikTok is saying. There's a conversation happening. Good. I love it. Yes, it's the Lord of the Rings shirt, everybody. One of my favorite ones. I brought it with me specifically for the stream because I'm not going to be wearing it to the sea, obviously. I will destroy it with the salt. So I was like, I'm going to wear it for my stream. Everybody will appreciate it. ASMR wall video, yes. Really, Josh? Is your daughter watching ASMR? We could be ASMR buddies. I love ASMR. I watch it all the time. Belarus feel they need to prepare for possible Ukrainian invasion. This is the official excuse that Lukashenko has been using for a while, right? This is something that he has been saying. There was this infamous meme that I have showed you guys before. I'm gonna show you from where they were planning on attacking Belarus and stuff. So this is their official rhetoric, that everyone is planning on attacking them. So everything they do, all of the military measures, all of the precautions that they take, it's in order to counter attack, I guess. It's a preventative measure. But their words mean nothing. So, as we have already learned before. Okay, so last night we have actually seen several strikes on several Russian oil depots. So the one that I just showed you, this was in Smolensk. Anyway, it was in Russia. The biggest one, however, was I don't think we have had any images or videos from that. It was the one on the Baltic Sea. So once again, it's Primorsk. I'm not entirely sure how close is it to Ust-Luga that we have discussed in the past, but it's also pretty big. And yeah, there were some pretty big fires reported in the area, and they had to temporarily stop the loading of the oil. So yeah, apparently it's one of the key hubs for the shadow fleet of the Russian tankers that they used to circumvent the sanctions, and that they used to sell the oils to their partners who were more than willing to continue trading with them in secret. Their little secret. So yeah, it's kind of public knowledge, I think, by this point in time, which particular ports, which areas they're using to load that oil onto their tankers, and in many instances, which tankers they're using to. If it's a random shady tanker in your area, it's probably a Russian one carrying a bunch of shady oil. So yeah, just so you know. Anyway. And also Ust-Luga was also hit. We have talked about Ust-Luga before, I think on several occasions. Yeah, it was also hit. So big night for the Russian oil depots burning. And interestingly enough, almost right after that, a couple hours ago, the Kremlin said that they're pausing the negotiations with Ukraine, which again, interesting timing, right? Interesting timing. Could be because they're bitter because of the oil depots burning. Could be that. Could also be the case of them preparing something, because one of the possible explanations for why they could be doing these drills in Belarus to begin with, going back to Belarus once again. Hello, Carol, long time no see. How are you doing? We're discussing Belarus. One of the possible explanations, thank you, for what is happening is that perhaps they're planning on opening a second front in Ukraine, right? So if they're planning on opening a second front in Ukraine, in Volyn, so in my region in particular, they will just strike into Ukraine from that territory. They will use these freshly arrived North Koreans to reinforce whatever parts of the front they need to reinforce with the troops, like all of that. And then it would also make sense for why they have just publicly announced that they're pausing the negotiation process, because they don't need the negotiation process. In fact, they haven't needed ever any of the negotiation process. It's a mockery, and it's just them tagging Trump along, and we all understand that. But yeah, today they have, I think it was Peskov who announced that they will be pausing it. So yeah, something's brewing, you guys. Something's in the air. Привіт, дуже рада вас бачити. Putin's natural state is awkward. Yeah, this is what he used to be like before all of the PR training and before they tried to turn him into a real boy and failed miserably. Josh says, my youngest falls asleep to ASMR vids. Aw, and I hear them from her room and get spooked. That's the same thing my parents tell me as well. They're also like, what is this noise? They thought we had mice, but it was actually someone like scratching stuff. Hello, Alice from Estonia. Hello. Thank you, Debbie. I'm also glad. I really need to do this more often. Although I do love, my little swamp, but also it's not real life. It's more like an imitation of life by this point. Oh yeah, that's 100% new. 100%. Hello, Anne. Hello, thank you. Just look at the rhetoric that has been spreading after that. You can immediately clock who's benefiting, or at least who's trying to make most out of the situation, I would say. What negotiations, right? Exactly. The imaginary negotiations, as I think we could call them. But yeah, they believe we have been negotiating. All of this is a circus. It's a circus. They know it perfectly well. So, yeah. One good thing to have come out of this entire Trump debacle with Belarus and them lifting sanctions from Belavia, which we will still have to see the consequences of that. I have a sinking feeling that once again it will be Ukrainians paying for this with their lives, but at least there have been political prisoners who have been freed from Belarus. Some of them have been in prison for years, and they've already been telling horror stories about the imprisonment in Lukashenko's prisons. Notoriously awful conditions. Everybody knows, right, that it's absolutely awful. Yeah, they had endured torture there. Obviously, I think this is no secret. If you've ever heard anything about Lukashenko's repression machine, you know how absolutely vicious it is. And in some instances, it's even worse than the Russian one. So, yeah, people have been just sharing their experience. The world has no idea the scale of what is happening in Belarus. Human rights violations, sexual and physical violence. I was in solitary confinement, was in a Grodno prison. I woke up at night from the fact that the adult men were literally howling, calling for their mothers, because they suffered so much. They suffered from the cold, they started hearing voices. So, yeah, just a lot of accounts like this. So whenever you hear these recollections, you immediately understand the importance of things like this. That yeah, people can get their lives back. And it was not just the citizens of Belarus; it was also foreigners as well, right? It was 14 foreigners and 38 citizens of Belarus. And foreigners included people from Lithuania, Latvia, Poland, Germany, France, and the United Kingdom. Remember, right, just another reminder to those of you, and perhaps, although I know you guys know better, but maybe some of you don't, remember that if you decide to travel to Russia or Belarus, I hope you won't, but if you do, if you have friends who are considering a fun little extreme vacation, this is what's gonna happen to them. Please warn them. This is what's gonna happen to them. They will be used for ransom. They will be caught, and then they will be tortured, and then they will be in prison until the next, negotiation deal, whatever, politicians signing things, and then maybe they will be released and maybe not. So just careful, especially these days. Foreigners are very precious cargo for these dictatorships. So still, by the way, waiting on learning more about, remember that French cyclist that we discussed? I think it was during the Sunday stream, the subscriber only stream, we discussed the guy who decided to cycle all the way to Vladivostok. And then he got detained. And I don't know what happened to him then, but I think I can guess. So, yeah, just be careful, everybody, if you decide to go on a little hike in Russia or Belarus. Also, Trump said that his patience with Putin is running out. Ay, and running out fast. Oh boy, we're in for some more empty threats, huh? Okay, US President Donald Trump said his patience with Russian President Putin was running out and running fast during an interview with Fox. It's the same interview that we have watched, right? It's the same one where he warned about, what was this, not getting close to Poland or... And yeah, of course, also he had to blame Zelensky because everything is Zelensky's fault. It does take two to tango. It's amazing when Putin wants to do it, Zelensky didn't. When Zelensky wanted to do it, Putin didn't. Now Zelensky wants to, and Putin is a question mark. Putin is not a question mark, baby. He's not a question mark. He's sending drones into NATO. He's testing your response. Wake up, please. But we're going to have to come down very, very strong. It's like he doesn't want to. We're going to have to, I guess, to come down very, very strong. Please do. I think it's time. No? Okay. Will we wait for 100 drones? I guess. Okay. The Russian ambassador to Paris was told by the French Ministry of Foreign Affairs today that the drone incursion into Poland was unacceptable. While we're on this topic, I'm going to show you the best way to handle these people. If you would like to take the diplomatic route with these creatures, if you really, really want to keep your diplomatic relationship with Russians, but they continue sending drones into your country, this is what you can do. You can do what Moldova did. Right, so this was all the way back in February 13th, but it's understandably resurfaced now. So this is the drone debris labeled as Gerain 2. It was presented to Russia's special envoy in Chisinau as evidence of Russia's involvement in the recent attacks on Moldova's territory. However, the Russian diplomat claims that this evidence is insufficient. Those of you who are not on YouTube, jump on YouTube immediately. Just look at this guy's reaction. Just look at his face. He is entering the room. And he's just presented, he had no prior warning, and he's presented with the parts of a drone that hit Moldovan territory. He is not happy. He's not happy about that. So, yeah, I would love for that to happen more. I would love to see, all of these fat cats in their suits, all of these fancy diplomats sitting all across the European capitals, whom they hate so much. Yeah, do that. Bring the parts of the drones that were shut down over Poland. Rub it into their faces. What is the... No, it was a bad thing. Stop doing that. Just threw a piece of drone into him. Okay, no, that's taking it too far, I guess. That's undiplomatic. That's not cute of me. But yeah, okay, one more look at his face, because I just love his stupid face so much. He is stunned. The man was too stunned to speak. But he's trying his best, trying to compose himself. KGB asshole. Excuse me. Yeah, that's something that we would love to see more of, ideally. But okay, you can also have a nice little chat with them, I guess. Sure, why not? And by the way, this is the footage of them meeting, the US delegation meeting with Lukashenko that we have already discussed. Wow, he has been growing. he has been increasing in size. There is this rumor that he might be on like some sort of hormone therapy because of his health issues, but this is just rumors, everybody. But yeah, they're very happy to see each other. This is the meeting during which they signed all these papers about the release of the prisoners and the sanctions being lifted. Of Belavia, the comment that goes with it, USA creeping back to doing business with Russia fewer than 2 days after Russia attacked Poland. Yeah, this is one of the critiques of what has happened that I have seen. Okay, apologies for Trump, everybody, looking all droopy. And H says, I joined the live on KGB asshole. I think in a way that's like 50% of what I'm trying to convey, so... yeah, we're also live on YouTube. Thank you, Zoe, for letting the people know. It's linked in the bio, as always. We're looking at all the horrible stuff on there. Okay, it's never anything too horrible. I never show any gore. I never show anything like, bloody, anything to, I'm not x.com, although I use it a lot for clips, but it's just the stuff. It's the politicians and the articles and things that are happening. Maps. We like maps here, so... Trump probably wants his photo op in Russia. He already had one when he visited with the former wife, the one that he buried in the field. They visited like 1 million years ago. Maybe I'll even find it. In 1987, reports Fontanka.ru. Jesus, it's a Russian newspaper. Anyway. That's them. That's him and Ivana in Petergov. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the support, everybody. Thank you for the tapping and the following and everything and sharing. So yeah, this is him with Ivana, and this. It's like a park. It's a former palace on the outskirts of St. Petersburg, with all the gold. You can actually see, I think, where he got the inspiration from, because look at all the gold in the background. There were more pictures, actually. Yeah. Wait. Oh my god, it looks like they never left Trump Tower. Look at that. Okay, just a moment. What do you guys think? This must be the Hermitage Museum, also in St. Petersburg, also former palace, because of course. And yeah, I think he most definitely have gotten inspiration for his interior design from there, because yeah, I can clearly see that now, right? Are you guys seeing what I'm seeing? Right? So, yeah, this is also them. And that's 1987, right? That was the first visit. And the Russian media is very proud of it, too. They like to point that out. They like to write all of these articles about how the young American businessman Donald Trump was invited to visit the Soviet Union. Completely randomly, completely out of nowhere. Just a random trip, because, why not? Anyway. Yeah, in 1987, he visited Moscow, and then he went to Leningrad, so St. Petersburg, took pictures with his second wife. Wait, it's not his second wife. Or was she? I think she was his first wife. No? Okay, I don't know. I don't care. I'm sorry, you guys. I don't really care. Hi, Nick. Hello. Thank you. Yeah. Trump himself, in his book, Art of the Deal, remembers how he received a letter in 1987 from the Soviet diplomat. God. And yeah, he was invited to... Anyway, he was interested in some sort of project, building something in Moscow. There were several projects, by the way. The last invitation that he had to build a Trump Tower in Moscow was sometime before the 2016 elections. So yeah, they were discussing building luxury hotels. Anyway, yeah, that's just to those of you who were wondering. They go all the way back. Anyway. Oh well, and now he's all droopy. What happened with his mouth, by the way? Okay, now we're not gonna go too deep into that. That's not a pretty sight. What else did we have to add about the drone attack? So yeah, after the several statements from certain individuals that we just mentioned that it could have been a mistake, the drones into Poland, there were several official statements from Polish officials being like, no, that was not a mistake. Prime Minister Tusk said, we would also wish that the drone attack in Poland was a mistake, but it wasn't, and we know it. And that's also the clip of Sikorsky that I wanted to show you guys. In a second, I will. Apologies for Fox News once again. These people love to go on Fox News. So, I'm sure Putin has lots of photos of Trump. Yes, there's this very popular conspiracy that he might have some compromising pictures, right? The Oval Office looks a bit like that these days after Trump's upgrade. Right, you can clearly tell that he got inspired by the St. Petersburg aesthetic, huh? First, right, Dave, this is what I thought. Marla was the second one, and Ivana hated her for that. I know that part of the lore. I cannot. I can't with these people. Right, Carol, exactly. Oh, thank you, Josh. Wow, this is very pretty. Was that a crown from me? Thank you. And I just don't get it. Where is that sick love coming from to Putin? Why Trump loves him? So several versions, right? Some people believe that he was recruited back then. Or at least that he got hooked, that there is some sort of material that they have on him. Because you don't necessarily have to be an agent. You could just be compromised, right? There are many ways for them to get you. So this is one of the possibilities. Another possibility is money, because if there's anything they have, and Trump during certain parts of his career didn't, is the money. So there could be that. There could be all of these deals, right? So many different possibilities. But also there is this overall feeling of adoration that so many of these men, especially of certain age, men with ego problems, they have for Putin. They think of him as a role model. They think of him as this great aspiration, right? He came from nothing, as he himself would tell you. He's very proud of it, how he learned everything he needed to know from Leningradskaya ulica, from the streets of Leningrad. And then he became, thank you, Carol. This is so nice to see under the sea. Thank you, dear. Thank you so much. How he came from nothing, right, and built himself up and became, the guy in charge, the alpha male. And yeah, some of them find it aspiring. I think it's in very poor taste, but what do I know? I do not have a golden palace. I do not have 3 wives, so I don't even have a bear to ride. I'm a very sad individual. But for some of them, he's a role model, and it's been weird to observe this happening, especially when it reached such a stage. But if you dig a little deeper, you won't be surprised. Just remember, before 2022, even after 2014, in particular after 2014, actually, his reputation reached just the absolute heights. Everybody was thinking that he's this aspiration after the annexation of Crimea, right? He sees what he wants and he takes it, and he rides a bear while he's at it. So, disgusting, just gross. So, yeah. Thank you, Clinton. Thank you. Bram says we can't keep track of wives and mistresses either. Oh God, you guys. Yeah, we'll have to get through this one. We'll have to get through. Oh, you think he was sleeping, Colleen, in the video where he is all droopy? The Droopy Donald video. Okay, perhaps. Perhaps, maybe that's the case, because I have heard the versions of him having a little stroke a couple days ago, and I was like, oh god. Oh no. A face only a mother could love, enough to send away to military school. Moo says, this is totally news to me. Trump all access. Yeah, he is quite a player. And so, oh, thank you, Ken. Wow, this is so cool. I've never seen this one before. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Yeah, there's been interesting and not so interesting, different levels to that. An iceberg of the consensual partners and not so consensual. Okay, you guys, Sikorski, that's the Polish Minister of Foreign Affairs, talking to Fox News. I don't think we're going to watch the whole thing, but...
What exactly happened?
Over the course of 7 hours, so all night, there
what
were
exactly
19
happened?
breaches
Thank you,
of
Suzanne.
Poland's
Thank you.
airspace, and we shot down several of the drones, and many more were found on the ground inside Polish territory, some several hundred kilometers inside Polish territory.
When we put up the map, you don't think this was a mistake?
I'm sorry. But the mistake again. The second thing he asked them, this Botox man from Fox News, I don't know what his name is. The second thing he asks the Polish Minister of Foreign Affairs, Radosław Sikorski, after asking, how does he say, what exactly happened? The second thing he has, so it was not a mistake. Gee, Brian, I don't know. Insufferable. Okay.
It's hard to believe that because some of them came over from Belarus and some came over from Ukraine. We've had similar breaches in the past. A cruise missile, a Russian one, landed 10 kilometers from my house in western Poland, but they came from Ukraine. This time they came from both Ukraine and Belarus.
So Article 4 of NATO says the parties will consult together whenever, in the opinion of any of them, the territorial integrity, political independence, or security of any of the parties is threatened. Is Poland activating its NATO defense with other countries?
Yes, we have. This article has been invoked in the past by Turkey and by other countries, altogether 7 times, and it usually resulted with the strengthening of that country's defense needs. And it was last invoked when Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022.
Right, and here's what the president said about more troops in Poland, if you all want them.
Will American soldiers remain in Poland?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you know something I don't? I don't know. Yeah, we're very happy. If anything, we'll put more there if they want, but they've long wanted to have a larger presence.
So will you ask the U.S. for more presence of troops, etc.?
We have about 10,000 U.S. troops in Poland right now.
10,000 U.S. troops in Poland, you guys.
$15,000
Currently.
per annum to every American soldier, so it's actually cheaper to keep them in Poland and to exercise them in Poland than in the U.S. So I think we have a mutual interest.
You know, when the president saw what happened with Russia, he put on Truth Social, what's with Russia violating Poland's airspace with drones?
I don't want this, it's just another Trump fest. But anyway, I think he delivered where was the part that I wanted? No, sorry, I think we have to go through a little bit of Trump, because the part that I wanted to show you, I think it's coming right here.
We need to change Vladimir Putin's calculations. We need to convince him that he cannot conquer Ukraine at an acceptable cost. And to do that, we need to impose tougher sanctions on Russia. We need to starve Russia of the resources to continue prosecuting this criminal war.
What do you think the fallout from that has been? What do you think the takeaway from Putin's perspective has been? He had that meeting in Alaska. He then met with the Chinese president, Xi Jinping, in China. And since then, the attacks seem to have been escalated exponentially.
You said it. We were supposed to have sanctions, and instead we got Alaska. And since then, as you say, attacks have intensified.
Exactly. We were supposed to have more sanctions. Instead, we have gotten Alaska, and since then the attacks have intensified. something that we have all seen and we have all discussed, and we have seen this on the example of Ukraine with the drones now coming in hundreds with the missiles all across the country at the record intensity, and now we're also seeing this at the neighboring countries as well, right, with the stakes growing higher and the escalation rolling, because this is how these people operate. This is how the Kremlin operates. Unless you stop them, they see this as an invitation. They have read this as an invitation and they continue. So this is the moment that I promised to show you guys with Sikorsky. Okay, something else about Belarus that I wanted to discuss in a moment. Small B says, "Oh, you made my borscht. Oh, I'm so glad to hear that you like it. Thank you. Ah, enjoy. It makes me very happy. Makes me very happy." Wait, I missed some drama in the chat. No. Oh no, it's the Trump deets still. Oh yeah, he's quite a character, you guys, as we have already established before. So he says he certainly looks like a physical embodiment of a sleeper cell. Oh, Ken, here's another one. What? Pink one. Thank you. So many different hats. Thank you, guys. A fashion show today. We're trying on different hats in the TikTok chat and discussing all these awful people and the escalation of the situation on the European front. Hello, dear. Good to see you. Last day on TikTok before community guidelines changed. Right, Maddie. Yeah, 100%. We'll see what's going to happen. Do you guys have any ideas about what it's going to look like? I mean, they're already rolling in some stricter censorship, for instance, and you can see it in... You can especially see it in the US, right? There's been people reporting on the fact that in the US you can no longer find certain topics. You can no longer search certain keywords, or when you do, the results are very different compared to the European search. So I think there's going to be more of that. They're probably going to make sure we all see different things. And also, yeah, they will probably start censoring things heavier. I've already heard a couple creators, but they were, again, the US creators mostly, complaining how they had their videos restricted or taken down because TikTok claimed they were not factual enough, which is interesting. Okay, we'll see about that. Will we have to provide references to every single thing we do, which would not be that bad of a thing, or will they just use it as an excuse to silence people? I think this one is much more likely, so hopefully that will not be the case. But who knows? Who knows? We're currently looking at the map of Belarus, everybody, so that you are not confused as to what is happening. This is Belarus, everybody, with some of its military objects that have been either modernized or freshly built after 2022. So you can see a pretty heavy increase, right? Especially in regards to the airfields. So, interesting stuff, huh? Okay, we're going to discuss that in a second. They tripped and fell into Poland. You know, just typical drone behavior. Oh, sorry, I'm behind everybody. MAGA will make TikTok do what they accused ByteDance of doing. I think so. Based on what's been happening, yeah, that's going to be the case. And it's probably gonna get worse. We'll see. So we'll see if we will have to migrate to YouTube fully. So you guys make sure to follow me on YouTube as well, okay? And also I have other social media platforms too. Maybe we will, if we are forced, we will not be silenced. So, thank you. We will not be silenced. We will just have to find a way around it as we do. We will adjust to things. There's a drama here. Sometimes there is. Never know. You never know. Oh, thank you, Daydreamer. Oh, such a nice owl. Wow, it's glowing. So many things. Ah, I haven't seen so many of these gifts. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Wow. YouTube is biased. I mean, every single platform is biased. So this is one of the reasons why we're here for now. It's just we will have to move based on the circumstances. If the stuff is gonna get worse on here, we will have to change the platforms, right? We're not gonna do any of their self-imposed censorship or whatever. It's already enough that people spend years saying grape, and the rest of these TikTok. Oh, thank you, Bram. Yay. And the rest of these god-awful, whatever that is, TikTok lingo replacements for proper words. If they're gonna do it even worse, then no one's gonna tolerate that. But hopefully it's not gonna be as bad. We will see. We will see as we do. I use host of the live, responsible for people's comments, and I'm responsible for everything. I am. No, but honestly, we'll see about that too. Maybe they will, they could actually introduce some new restrictions regarding that. So maybe it's gonna be just YouTube for us after all. We will see. So yeah, make sure to follow me on YouTube, you guys, okay? So yeah, what you're looking at right now, let's do just a little quick overview of what's happening. There's also some interesting deets regarding what we're seeing. This new airfield in Mazar, for instance, that we're looking at. In the proximity to that, this is also where one of the biggest, I believe this is where one of the biggest Lukashenko's oil depots is also located. Suspiciously close to Ukraine. So this is one of the things that many people point out to be a key factor in what is going to get hit if the war starts from direction of Belarus. So if Lukashenko caves in or decides to join in fully, right, and attacks Ukraine, say attacks Volyn or attacks Rivnenska Oblast, or as you can see, there are several regions of Ukraine that Belarus borders, unfortunately. Then these things will be immediately taken out, and that's his wallet, so that's probably not fun. But yeah, you can see some of the fortifications being built. But yeah, the airfields, I think, is the one that it's the topic of greatest interest to us, because if you think about the possible airstrikes on our territory. So yeah, you can also see some satellite footage, so they're not really hiding it, right? Obviously all of this is visible from space. And yeah, you can see that it has been increasing, right? So the speed and the scale at which they have been building all of these military objects in Belarus. You can just compare it. For instance, this is what it looked like. This is March 1st, 2022. This is September 9th, 2025. So it doesn't want to open. Okay, thank you for that. But yeah, just a lot of improvements. And it's an interesting question, whether or not it's prepared for us or, so for the further perhaps incursion into Ukraine, or whether it's them preparing for the upcoming operation somewhere further west, which is something that the name of the drills they're currently conducting also hints at. But yeah, once again, you can compare it. This is the military base next to Gomel in 2023 versus now. Again, you can see a lot of movement there. This is a former, I think it's a Soviet era military base that was not active. Sure is active now. And yeah, there's more to come. There's more buildings being built, more facilities being built, different brigades located. So yeah, we haven't talked about Belarus in a while, right? So it just makes sense that we would talk significantly more about it today. So we will see whether it's being prepared for us or it's prepared for, some other countries, maybe for the Suwałki corridor, maybe for something else. Maybe it's just a provocation. Maybe it's a way to, because remember, in the past, they used this to drag our forces away from the front line, because of the constant threat of Belarus, a lot of our troops are yeah, they just have to be. They just have to dug in and sit in Volyn and Rivne and other regions that border Belarus, just in case, obviously. There are also beavers helping them. We've discussed that, I think, in the past. We have this crazy beaver activity in our region, and apparently beavers have been very helpful with fortifications and also digging the trenches and expanding the swamps. Because if there is one good thing Volyn has going for it, it's the swamps. And the swamps make any sort of potential operation, any sort of potential invasion much more complicated, which is one of the reasons why Lithuania, for instance, is now considering bringing swamps back, making swamps great again. Because apparently about half of their swamps have been artificially dried out. And yeah, now they're thinking, to the joy of their ministry, I think, of ecology, like ecological affairs. Oh, thank you. That's another hat. Thank you so much. Oh, that was very nice. Was it gone? Was it gone? Didn't read your full name because I'm very slow. Every single time I try to tap on people's names, for some reason I miss. I have fat fingers. Sorry. Thank you. So yeah, swamps to the rescue. Swamps to the rescue. Lithuania wants to bring back its swamps. Everybody else is also thinking. Everyone with swamps wants the swamps back because swamps are all the rage, just like Shrek taught us. All right, I think on Belarus, this is all I wanted to discuss. I don't know if you guys have any questions about Belarus. Let me know if you do. Let me know if you do. Carol says we already have TikTok language, right? Pew Pew and all of the music festival. Music festival, I think, was the first major example of like actual TikTok censorship, where you couldn't see any footage of the protests unless you searched the music festival, right? That was the first instance, like a very big one. So, but yeah, all platforms are biased, obviously. Wait, let me see. I am in charge of thoughts and feelings. Josh, it's you as Vindictus on YouTube. Okay, now I will know. I didn't know that. Thank you, Carol. Wait, what? Truth Social? Roddy, did you just for realsies tell us that YouTube is biased and Truth Social is not? Are you kidding? Please tell me you're joking. My favorite social media platform. Wait, can I access it from here? Because I couldn't from Ukraine. Can I create an account on Truth Social? Will I learn all the truth there is if I do? Okay, they're verifying if I'm human. Oh my god, you guys, it's my first time ever on Truth Social. Oh my god, I'm so excited. And it's a bizarre image of Trump hugging Charlie Kirk, of course. Sure, why not? I am thrilled. I am exposed to so much truth at once, it hurts. Oh my god. It has all of the Twitter propagandists on here too. It has the cat turd, for instance. It's a very famous Twitter propaganda account. Oh my, and Newsmax too is on here. And support small American businesses. Truth Sports. You guys, there's an entire universe out there that we have been missing out on. Wow, it's an ad for sake. Is this the one that Trump is making? Is he making sake too? I wouldn't be surprised. Okay. Wow. A whole new world. Because, yeah, you cannot access this thing from Ukraine. I am a human, yes. Now we know for real. With the confirmation. Okay, now it glitched. Truth Social, come back to me. Did you just glitch? No, okay, that's enough. Okay, that was enough truth for all of us. But yeah, that's the first one, you guys. I've never been on there. It's even crazier than I thought. At first I thought that it was like Jeremy Renner app, but for Trump. I don't know if you guys remember, but like back in the day, several years ago, Jeremy Renner, the Avengers actor, created an app that was just him posting, and everyone else on the app could only send him money and do nothing else. And I thought that Truth Social was that for Trump. Because it sounded like, you know, the type of business model that would work for him. But no, apparently there are other people as well on there. So hey, maybe I should join. They would bully me so badly over there if I did. Oh, thank you, TJ. Thank you for loving the shirt. I love the shirt too. You cannot see Frodo, but he's also here. I don't know if you guys can see Frodo on YouTube. All right. Follow me on Truth Social. No. Okay, so we discussed the Poland situation. Also, interestingly, apparently the drone over Poland situation has changed the political landscape in the Czech Republic, because they're currently amidst the political campaigning. And yeah, the parties are now split. So at first they were discussing just the regular stuff, like the cost of living, you know, the usual. But then the drones hit Poland, and all of a sudden everybody is discussing the drones, and now it's the key issue, which is, I mean, yeah, good, it makes sense. But yeah, it was just interesting to see that apparently different political parties perceive it differently, although they do have a quite strong EU-NATO orientation in general, but there are obviously, as everywhere else, there are certain forces that are trying to swing them the other way. You know how it goes. Alrighty, I also wanted to talk a little bit about Japan, but let me see if there's anything else I wanted to mention. Oh, thank you. Okay, we discussed already that the biggest Russian oil port has been hit last night in the Baltic Sea, and there were also several more. We discussed the pause in the negotiations and the drones stuff. So yeah. This was an interesting comment, because at the very beginning we have discussed how the Polish soldiers are going to start learning how to hit the drones, right? How to intercept the drones from the Ukrainian troops. And they have clarified that they're not going to be doing, thank you though. We're also live on YouTube, everybody, so you can come on there to see the lasers with which they're shooting down the drones. Anyway, that they made sure to clarify that they will not be intercepting the drones in Ukraine, because this is very important, because if you intercept drones in Ukraine, that's an escalation, and that's a no-no. So I'm not entirely sure what's the plan here is, but yeah, they're currently discussing where they're going to do it. I really hope that they will just not tell us anything. We don't need any more information. That's enough, I think. Okay, anyway, so that's the drone situation and the Belarus situation that we have been through already. We've discussed their increase and the political prisoners released. So yeah, I also wanted to talk a little bit about the situation in Japan, because last time I promised you guys, with their prime minister resigning, and what does it mean for the situation over there. So let's see what you guys are over here saying. Just a brief overview that I wanted to do, and then I think we will be wrapping it up. Thank you, Kelly. That's very sweet of you. That's very sweet of you to say. Yes, the Japan stuff, everybody. So last time we have been discussing, now Trump has all your information. He can keep it. It's fine. It's fine. What does he get? Oh my God. Ken, thank you. Thank you so much. Wow. Music festival. Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Okay, I think I have to go through the chat a couple times to make sure that I have seen everything, because you know what it does, right? It doesn't show me some things that I would love to see. Anyway, so as you guys know, recently the Japanese Prime Minister resigned. And this is not the first prime minister to have resigned in the last couple of years. In fact, they've been going through prime ministers quite a lot. This one lasted for barely a year, less than a year even, right? That's the Shigeru Ishiba, right, is his name. That's the one whom Trump called Mr. Japan. Remember how when they were still discussing the tariffs? Apparently, I think my working theory is that Trump obviously never even bothered to memorize the name of the Japanese prime minister, so he just called him Mr. Japan, because sure, why not? Anyway, by the way, they worked out the tariff situation too, which is actually one of the reasons for why he decided to resign. He wanted to stay on the job while the tariff situation and the trade deal with the US was being signed. And then he announced his resignation. It was a long time coming thing, because the main problem here, it's not him. It's not you, it's me. It's not him. He's just genuinely a decent guy by the looks of it. It's the party. It's the party that he represents. It's the Liberal Democratic Party of Japan, the one that has been their key player. It's their main player, and it has been ever since it has been created. It has been created in 1955. So for the last, almost 70 years, there were like a couple years when they were not in power. But yeah, they're this major powerhouse in Japan. And for the last, I want to say about 10 years, but in particular since the tragic passing, since the assassination of Shinzo Abe, their previous leader, they have been in shambles. And it has been an ongoing situation, and no one really seems to be addressing it. And because of that, they keep falling into the same trap over and over and over again. So they just keep changing leaders. Hello, Mirja, good to see you, thank you. They keep changing leaders, they keep going through these prime ministers, and but they're not addressing the root cause, unfortunately, which is the desperate need for the reforms within the party itself. In fact, I think I told you guys before that one of the things that I have noticed back when I was working in Japan, and one of the things that you also learn when you study Japan, is that they're not really, especially young people, they're not really into politics, which is common, right? It's something that I think a lot of young people globally have in common, but in Japan it's particularly strong. It's like they were barely voting, and whenever I would ask them, like, hey guys, why aren't you going to vote? Or when my friends who are working for the Japanese companies would also ask their colleagues, like, hey, the election's coming up, who are you guys going to vote for? The answer was like, no, I don't really want to go vote. There is no point. There is no point in voting. It's not going to change anything. And it was this overwhelming sentiment, and it's partially on LDP. Because they have created this political atmosphere in Japan where young people in particular were under the impression that nothing can be changed, right? And then the state of hopelessness is one of the worst things you could do to your country, I believe. Thank you. Because it creates a very dangerous environment, and as Japan has recently seen, we've already talked briefly before about the rise of the far-right, almost broke the glass, about the rise of the far-right party called the Sanseito. That's one of the main reasons. This party, the far-right populist party, just sort of arrived. It was started by a podcaster and a blogger during COVID and based on COVID denial, and because of course it was. But they managed to captivate the crazy people, obviously, as these people do with their rhetoric, and give them some sense of hope, I guess. They started gradually climbing to power, and in the recent elections they have gotten 14 seats, which is not a lot, but it's still, it's still a plenty. So that's on the rise of the far right. And LDP still continues kind of, doing whatever, trying to figure out its stuff. And so, anyway, Shigeru Ishiba resigns, right? He's stepping down after less than a year in a role. And they're going to decide on their next leader of the party next month. It's going to be the beginning of October. So there are two possible candidates for the role. This is Shinjiro Koizumi that you're seeing on the screens right now. The Nepo baby, as I like to call him. He represents the more moderate faction inside the LDP. He is young, he's 44. If he's to become the leader of the party and then the prime minister, he would be the youngest prime minister in history of Japan. And he's seen as this more moderate sort of force. Some people even call him progressive. He's not progressive. Like his stance on the gay marriage, for instance, was very weird. At first he was against it, then he was for it. then he was against it, then he was once again for it. So it's like just classic politician stuff. But yeah, he is seen something as some, I don't know, I guess more, I guess the only hope that they're currently seeing for themselves within the party for like a possible, change, a new breath of hope, a young face, someone who could potentially unite people. He's also quite handsome, which does help. So yeah, he's one of the possible candidates. And another one is, she reminds me of Yulia Tymoshenko so much, you guys. I cannot with this lady. This is Takaichi Sanae, and she is the closest to the late Shinzo Abe that this party currently has, pretty much. She was very close to him. She is considered an ultra-conservative nationalist, even by Japanese standards, which, and Japan already, it's quite right-leaning to begin with. Thank you. But yeah, this particular character is she's special even among them. And yeah, on all the issues that the other guy is at least like sort of maybe undecided on or doesn't really have a clear opinion, she has very strong, very like super conservative opinions on absolutely everything you would ask her about. The immigrants, the gay marriage, the surname, which by the way is an issue in Japan because legally you still have to have, if you're married to someone, you have to have one last name. And it's considered to be one of these issues that will define, whether or not they will become more progressive in the upcoming years if they finally get rid of this rule. No, she believes you need to have the same last name. And of course, a major issue for all of these people is the way they approach the World War II, right? And the Japanese crimes in the World War II, which, let me just put it this way. It's a known problem. It's just what varies among the players is how bad things are in their approach. They all visit Yasukuni Shrine. To those of you who do not know, I'm gonna show you guys, to those of you who are on YouTube, what is Yasukuni Shrine. Beautiful shrine at the center of Tokyo. Beautiful Obon celebrations every single year, and also this is a place where all of the people who fought for Japan are enshrined, which sounds quite innocent in itself until you remember who these include. This is the shrine where some of the Class A war criminals are enshrined. So some of the people responsible for all of the atrocities committed by Japan in the World War II are enshrined there. And the Japanese politicians, the LDP politicians, really like to go pray there at the anniversary of the Japanese surrender in the World War II, which sounds counterproductive, but this is what they do. Yeah, that's the shrine. It's a nice shrine. If only it didn't have the meaning that it does. And yeah, this is what all of them do. But yeah, by the way, this guy's dad, Koizumi's dad, who was also Prime Minister of Japan before, yeah, I think he was like one of the first people to have ever done that. Okay, don't quote me on that one, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, they all go there, and the way they approach the Japanese crimes in the World War II, it differs. It differs depending on... yeah, there are layers. So some of them are apologetic, some of them are not apologetic. The general stance that the party has is that back in 2015, Abe gave a speech that they believe is like defining. He kind of like sort of apologized, admitted to some things, didn't talk about other things. The most controversial one is the comfort women issue, right? All of the women who were forced into the prostitution on the occupied territories during the Japanese Empire days. That is one of the most controversial ones, but it's overall believed, that, okay, Abe gave a speech in 2015, he kind of apologized, we should move on, right? We should move past this. And recently, there's been a worry that there's the Ishiba Shigeru, the guy who is resigning, that he might actually go further and he might give a World War II speech at the United Nations that might be maybe more apologetic or something, and it's like a huge controversy. So this is the level at which we are currently at. Even the slightest, perhaps he's gonna be, he's gonna talk at greater length about the crimes or something. It's already like a big no-no within the party. So they're even considering, well, it's kind of like a rumor that perhaps they might expel him from the party if he goes through with this. So they're like warning him, don't do this. This lady is not going to do anything like this. Takaichi Sanae, yeah, she is fine. She is not going to apologize for anything. And the thing with her, on one hand, she's extremely popular with the far right. And so if she were to be appointed as a leader of the party, as a prime minister, it's seen as this major sort of bow to the far right, to the rising Sanseito, and potentially a chance to perhaps get some of the psychopaths back from them to vote for the LDP. On the other hand, the other party called Komeito that LDP needs to have a coalition with, they said, if this lady is your leader, we're out. There isn't going to be a coalition. So they're now beefing among each other because based on all of that. And this is the mess. Why is this mess important? Why are we even talking about this? Because to the backdrop of this mess, this is what's happening. First one, yesterday, 13 hours ago, China's newest aircraft carrier sails through Taiwan Strait. Casually. Just casually. The Fujian is China's newest aircraft carrier, and experts say it features advanced takeoff systems for Air Force jets. China called the ship's trip through the Taiwan Strait a routine arrangement, which there has been a lot of. When something like this is going to happen, when the escalation around Taiwan is going to happen, Japan is going to be at the front of this, quite literally, because it literally, not borders, but borders, but in the ocean. It borders Taiwan. Okinawa hosts the biggest US military base in the region. They're already seeing the results of the Chinese training. They're seeing the missiles. They're going to be there, and they need strong leadership for this. And while the situation, grows tenser and tenser every single day, LDP is doing their little beefing, and why would he give a speech admitting to some of the World War II crimes? Like, why would he do that? Why is he doing the immigrants? All the nonsense, all of this infighting. It's so silly. But yeah, I just wanted to show you parts of this video real quick. Just a moment, everybody. Let me try and catch up with the chat. Sorry, went on the rant. I've been waiting to talk about this one for such a long time. I could talk about this forever. But yeah, it's just, I think it's important to pay attention to stuff like this. Hello, welcome, True Love. Yeah, we're discussing all kinds of things. I was just ranting about Japan. But yeah, I think it's important to keep an eye out on stuff like this, because at the end of the day, it's all interconnected, right? Carol says, if handsome is a factor, how did we end up with Trump? That's a really good question, but I think it's just different because Trump has more of with Trump, they fell for the daddy vibe, right? Japanese people are more prone to, thank you, Em, the kawaii, the cute vibe. They were even selling merch with this guy's face. So LDP's main office, they are selling merch with all of their politicians because, of course. And back in 2013, when this guy Koizumi, when he was just coming to power, he was so popular that the only thing that was more popular than merch with his face was merch with Abe's face, and Abe obviously was like he was like the star of LDP and their glorious leader. So yeah, they sell merch. They also sell merch with politicians. And in this particular case, I think it was the sweet cakes called manju. Oh, thank you, Josh. Oh, this is adorable. Thank you so much. I'm on an island. Hopefully not the one that's gonna get bombed by China soon. Let me show you what a manju is. To those of you who do not know, it's this type of cake. It's usually filled with red bean paste. Let me show you. Yeah, and when it has a flat top like this, you can put any image on top that you would like, or like any sign, anything, the name of your business, the name of your brand, the name of your enemy. And yeah, this is a very popular type of merch in Japan. So yeah, you can get your sweet cake with a politician's face, which is kind of gross, but yeah, they all think that guy is very attractive. I mean, he is. At least he used to be. Not anymore, maybe, but he used to be quite attractive. These days, you can tell that he's been stressing out. He's been stressing out about everything. Would they both know how to flatter Trump? I think Koizumi definitely would. He's fluent in English, from what I could tell. And he's considered to be the most like well-articulate among them, and also like very diplomatic one. And he's funny too. And he has very good relationship with the U.S. diplomats. History of good relationship with the U.S. diplomats. With Takaichi, I'm not sure. She has eyes of a killer, and but honestly, I would be more excited to see Takaichi's interaction with Trump than Koizumi's, because with Koizumi, I think I already know what it would feel like, what it would look like. It would be like, Mr. Trump, the most incredible person in the world. With Takaichi, it's gonna be fun. So we'll see. Maybe it could be someone else. So with LDP, one of the key problems is that they also have a bunch of these other random old guys who also cling to power desperately, and maybe they will surprise us all and actually pick someone else, some other million-year-old dude, and be like, that's our next prime minister for the next year. Because last time, again, it was also everybody believed that Takaichi and Koizumi were like the front runners, and we ended up with the Shiba Shigeru. So we'll see. We will see. The situation is very... No hyphenated names. No. Oops, that's a little star. Thank you so much. Gontengwen. Did I pronounce it correctly? Did something? Excuse me. I just had a bat. Where did it come from? I literally have a bat flying in my room. What the actual hell? You guys, how do we approach the situation? Is it gonna kill me? I think it's not a good sign. I don't think it's a good sign. Oh my god. Wait. Let me show you. Can I show you the bat? It's a bat! And also a really weird painting that I have on my wall of a naked lady for some reason. But, okay. Sure. Why not? I think I should try and let it out, because otherwise it will freak and probably bite me, and I will turn into a vampire. Okay, let me try. That's new. That's a first one for me. I have had various experiences in my life, but I've never had a bat in my room. What do I do? Chat. What do I do? Okay, now I'm definitely not gonna grab it. Do I just open a window and hope for the best? Where is it? I think I can hear it, but I cannot see it anymore. Okay, yeah, open the window would be a good call. Let me start with that. You guys, YouTube, what do we do? Let me know. I'm gonna start with the window, just a moment. That's a first. I've never had something like this. I have had so many different things happen in my life. I have had sparrows drowning in compote that my mom made, but I never had bats. Okay, I opened the window. Where are you? Where are you, Miss Thing? Excuse me? I beg your finest pardon? I can't see it anymore. Okay, open the window. Now we wait, I guess. It disappeared. I think it hid somewhere. Jesus. Okay. Bats are probably harmless, but if it flies around long enough without food, it would collapse. Recommend it's indeed. Okay, open a window. Yeah. It will let in a bunch of mosquitoes, but I'm ready for that. Yeah, right, politely leave, Mr. Bat. No, I am obviously... I'm slightly nervous about his life and well-being. And also, I hope it doesn't have rabies. It shouldn't. But it will be fine, hopefully. I think it's a bad sign. I think they will end up with the. Thank you, Henrik, with Sanaya Takaichi as prime minister. You guys. Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna fall asleep with it in the room. That's for sure. I will make sure to get rid of it first, nicely. I'm not gonna harm the bat, you guys. Don't worry. I'm a friend to animals. The mosquitoes, yeah, I can already sense them. And they're so awful here too. French mosquitoes are so much worse than the Ukrainian ones for some reason, which is kind of weirdly fitting culturally if you really think about it. Weirdly, my sister has a colony of bats in their home. Oh no. And they're protected animals, so they have to be regularly inspected by the animal people. Wow. I think bats eat mosquitoes. Okay, that's good news, everybody. Bats eat mosquitoes, so we're safe. Is there Uber Eats for bats? Yep. Yeah, that would be my next step. If it bites me, I'm immediately moving to Gotham and starting a new career as a Batman. So... I think I have a broom. I'll have to look for it in the cupboard in a second. Because, yeah, I'll probably wrap the live first and then we will... and then I'll take care of the bat. I know it would be a very entertaining show. Me against the bat. But no, we're not going to do that. That's the first, you guys. Wait, or maybe I had bats. What did I have? I don't remember. So many. There was this time briefly when I was a kid when we lived at a construction site. Basically, it was an unfinished house because we didn't have anywhere else to live. Anyway, it's a long story, and I think we had bats, and it was fine, and we survived. Yeah, I will guide it. I will guide it out with. I think I have a broom or something. I have to find it first. I think it hid somewhere. I heard it for some time and then I can no longer hear it or see it. And I don't like it. Okay. Guys, cracking me up. No, I hope not. I hope not, everybody. Wait, I wanted to show you the video about Japan and Okinawa and the China thread. Okay, let's watch this couple minutes. I know Bat is much more exciting than that, but while we were on the topic of Japan...
If a war breaks out over Taiwan, this could be the first place to be involved.
Just some parts of it.
It isn't even Taiwan or mainland China. It's Japan. More specifically, Okinawa.
台湾に侵攻すると同時に
I'm not gonna do that.
沖縄にある嘉手納基地とかですね、そういった基地に対してミサイル攻撃をするっていうことも言われて
Yeah, we'll deal
On
with the
April
bat.
1st,
It's fine.
2025, the Chinese military held another round of drills near Taiwan. Japanese officials see a growing threat from China.
政府としては引き続き関連の動向を注視するとともに我が国周辺海空域における警戒監視活動などに万全を期してまいります。
China then responded strongly.
日方无权说三道四，更不得插手干涉。
The U.S. has also repeatedly warned.
The threat China poses is real, and it could
I look happy because I'm away.
But if conflict came, would the U.S. use force to stop China?
全亚洲最大的美军空军基地一定是会有所作为。
The Trump administration seems to have different priorities,
Yep, Trump
and
administration
helping Taiwan
seems to
is
have no
not on the
priorities.
top. With the possibility of conflict looming, how is Japan preparing? What role does Okinawa on the front line play in this?
一番怖いのが台湾と沖縄だけに戦争のフィールドを限定してしまえ。
Anyway, we're not gonna watch the whole thing, obviously, so that we wouldn't steal the material from Deutsche Welle. I'm gonna leave the link in the chat to those of you who are interested, and I'm also gonna kind of summarize some of the most important points to the rest of you. why Okinawa is so important. Wait, how do I access my own chat? I think from here. Okay, I'm just gonna send it into here. Okay, to those of you who might be interested in the whole thing. But yeah, basically, because of the, I think I've already, oh, thank you, Josh, what was that? Because of the location, right? Because of the location, because of how important it is, because of the US military bases, and also because it's just inevitably will be drawn into whatever happens with Taiwan because of the proximity. This is why it's important. Also, Japan under Abe used to have much stronger stance. Abe actually tried to make it into like a whole foreign policy position, right? That Japan will get involved if something happens with Taiwan. But also this ties in neatly with another problem, and it's the Japanese Constitution Article 9 that prohibits them from entering any sort of military conflict for understandable reasons because of what happened in the World War II. And so they will have to find a way around it, either to mend it somehow, or God knows what, or maybe there were all of these discussions repeatedly in the Japanese society about maybe potentially getting rid of this article of the Constitution, and immediately draws huge backlash because people are worried what it might lead to. So there are also layers to that. And yeah, obviously one thing that would be good, strong leadership wouldn't be a bad thing. But for now, this is a big question mark with all of the LDP infighting with each other. So basically, yeah, that's just the summary of the situation in Japan. We will be keeping an eye out on this because, again, it's very important. It will be at the heart of whatever happens in the upcoming months with Taiwan, and we will see. We'll see who their next prime minister is going to be. Oh, thank you for the fireworks. Oh, this is so nice. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. All right, everybody. On this wonderful note, everyone, Carol says, I'm fairly distracted waiting for a bat sighting on screen. I cannot see it anymore. I cannot find it anymore. How did it even get in? I have a slight suspicion it might have been living here because my window was closed. Although there is another window, like into the hallway. Okay. So many questions, so little answers. Maybe one day we will learn. Who knows? Oh well. What are those Article 4 meetings? It's the consultations for the NATO countries. So they're consulting. They are talking about increasing military presence in Poland and other eastern flank countries, NATO countries. So it's mostly that. It's just like it's talking, but stronger talking with possibly some solutions that might be as a result of this talking, hopefully. So yeah, you guys. When are the military exercises starting? Today. They have already begun. They will be lasting from today till the September 16th. So 4 days. 4 days of very intense situation on the eastern NATO flank in Ukraine, in the western Ukraine as well. So, you guys. Yeah, there are curtains. There are curtains. Well, not now, because I have the entire thing wide open so that the bat would get out, but the bat hid. So, okay, I'm gonna go look for the bat, everybody. Thank you. Bats can live in a roof space and use a hole the size of your finger to pass through. Jesus. Jesus, take the wheel. Okay. I don't like it anymore. I want to go home. You guys. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go look for the bat. Now I have to do this. I think I have to do this. Okay, everyone's tapping. We're at 65,000 likes, everybody. Everybody is tapping like crazy. Do you want to see the bat? I had a sinking feeling it could have been in this curtain that I have. No, I probably would have gotten out already. Or it's either somewhere here or it's in the corner over there. I don't want to do this. No, it's fine. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll manage. Oh, you meant when, Mehdi? I'm not sure. They haven't given any timeline on the Article 4 meetings or anything. They just told us that they have... what was this? Poland... What's the verb? what's the verb? I forgot. Called in anyway, but there was no timeline, unfortunately, for that. So thank you, Zoe. Oh, this is nice. This is very, very nice. Thank you, thank you. I also think it's a valid crash out, honestly, because I've never had anything like this happen. Where is it? Okay, just a moment. I need to look. I will be back in a sec. Bat. Ну-ка, иди сюда, зараза. Иди. Ну. Где ты? Берюка. No, I thought it's under my chair. No, it's not. Okay, I cannot find it, you guys. I don't know where it is. Maybe it went back into the hallway. We'll see. But I have to go look. Okay, now we're saying our goodbyes because now I'm freaked out because the bat disappeared and I need to try and establish the source of the bat in case it comes back. Comes bat. But okay. I will be working on that. It's behind me? No, Ken. It's not behind me. No. It is somewhere. It's here somewhere. I'll have to come up with something. I don't know. We'll be fine. Alrighty, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. On this exciting note, I will be saying my goodbyes. I will let you know. I will keep you updated on Instagram probably regarding the bat situation. So yeah, make sure to follow me on there. Okay, thank you for watching. Thank you to everybody for your support. Thank you for the gifts and the follows and the likes and the taps and everything and your comments and your everything, your attention. Thank you for being here. We're gonna do our Sunday gathering for subscribers. Yes, Zoe, Sunday Live, the secret gathering for the subs. So if you subscribe, you can join us too. It's gonna be same time, same place. Thank you, Henrik. You can join through here or through Patreon. There is also a link on Patreon as well. I will be posting it. Is this the drums? Jesus. What is happening? Too many things are happening at once. I will be posting the link either today or tomorrow, and we will be doing our Sunday gathering on Sunday. Huh, interesting. Okay, you guys, thank you so much once again. Mwah. Take care, everybody. I will see you all on Sunday, or I will see you all next time, depending. I'm gonna go get the bat. Wish me luck. Mwah. Thank you, everyone. Good night. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye. Okay. Okay, YouTube, thank you all so much as well, as always, for watching. I'm gonna go handle the bat situation. Wish me luck. Thank you. Thank you. Mwah. Bye-bye, everyone. Take care. Thank you, thank you, thank you.